broken or leaking hoses with Watts and Teleflow automatic washing machine shutoff valve, only $79. Save with A-Boy's Big Fall Sale going on now. Visit one of these A-Boy supply stores today.
Last season, Terrell Owens created controversy when he taunted the Cowboys. This year, he created controversy when he criticized his coach, Steve Mariucci. But there's no controversy when it comes to his talent. T.O. leads the league with 13 touchdown receptions. As we welcome you back to this Fox NFL special. All right, folks, let's be real about the Philadelphia Eagles. It's their defense that has this team in first place in the NFC East. They have given up the fewest points in the NFL, and while I plan to talk to those guys about blitzes, slants, and stunts, yeah, went right up to Philadelphia. I just had a great time with a great group of guys.
I go all the way from Texas.
Tell the nation, tell the world, you cried.
Hey, Troy.
When you came in locker room pregame,
oh, so you want to start digging up old dirty laundry.
Before you hear that sob story, let's first visit with the third Mouseketeer. If you were to describe the defense as a car, what kind of car would you be?
I would say 18-wheeler, you know, because it takes us a minute to get started.
18-wheeler?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
No, seriously, because it takes us a minute to get started, but once we get rolling.
So, Jeremiah, what's the deal with your shirt?
The nest of death, you know, but judging by home record, we might have to get this changed.
Well, he practiced run a little bit on Thursday and practiced pretty well, so we rested him yesterday, and he tried it this morning, felt pretty good, put an extra pad on it, a little bit thicker flak jacket, and away we go.
Tough decision for you. You know, you want a healthy quarterback, obviously, in the playoffs.
Game is the most important thing. If we can win a game or two or three. Communicative with me. If it starts bothering him too much, to be smart enough to come on out of the game and let the other guy finish.
Good luck, Coach. Thanks a lot. Pat, back up to you.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. The 49ers have won 5 consecutive home games. To field David Akers' opening kickoff. The 49ers.
Pat, back up to you.
All right.
By home record, we might have to get this changed.
Well, he practiced run a little bit on Thursday and practiced pretty well, so we rested him yesterday, and he tried it this morning, felt pretty good, put an extra pad on it, a little bit thicker flak jacket, and away we go.
Tough decision for you. You know, you want a healthy quarterback, obviously, in the playoffs.
We do. I told him that the playoff game is the most important thing. If we can win a game or two or three in here, great, but we've got to have him healthy, so I told him to be communicative with me. If it starts bothering him too much, to be smart enough to come on out of the game and let the other guy finish.
Good luck, Coach. Thanks a lot. Pat, back up to you.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. The 49ers have won 5 consecutive home games, shut out their opponents in the last 2. The Eagles have won 9 consecutive road games, 6 this year. Those are regular season, of course, so something's got to give. Benny Sutherland back deep to field David Akers' opening kickoff. The 49ers, of course, won the toss. Short kick. Sutherland comes all the way about to the 13-yard line to take it. And gets outside the 30. It is a good return and a good start for the 49ers. Let's look at their offense. The offensive line, and they have done a wonderful job. Deese, Brown, Newberry, Fiore, and Gregg. Owens, Garrison, Hearst, the 2 real offensive threats, along with Garcia. J.J. Stokes, Eric Johnson, the rookie tight end, and Fred Beasley's the fullback. First down in San Francisco at their own 32.
It's interesting, Pat. It is first down, as you say, and the Eagles are coming out in nickel defense. 5 defensive backs. This is called their Buffalo package.
They don't blitz. And Garrison Hearst breaks into the secondary. Let's look at the Eagle defense. As you pointed out in the opening remarks, they do like to blitz a lot. They'll come after you. Douglas, Thomas, Simon, and Whiting up front. Caldwell, Jeremiah Trotter in the middle, and Carlos Emmons, the linebackers. And the secondary, one of the better secondaries in the league, Taylor and Vincent, Dawkins and Moore.
And again, they're in nickel tackle are 5 defensive backs. The 5th defensive back is Al Harris, who's lined up right there.
Garcia to Ty Streets.
I think the Eagles think that the 49ers will like that 3 wide receivers. Ty Streets being the 3rd wide receiver for the 49ers, so they plan to use a lot of nickel. So they want to dictate. Jim Johnson is a defensive coordinator that doesn't want to react to what you do. He wants to dictate to you what he's going to do, and that's why he started off with nickel defense when the 49ers didn't even have 3 wide receivers in there.
He's a very good defensive coordinator. No blitz. Hearst behind the line by Trotter.
Jeremiah Trotter, you see that chop that he gave him there? You know, he's from Hooks, Texas. And as a kid, what he did, his father had a business of wood chopping. So every day he'd have to come home from school and chop wood. So when he makes a tackle, that kind of reminds him of his days back in high school, and he gives that chopping thing right there. Take that, you piece of wood.
He could do some damage.
Yeah, and I think that's why he's so strong. I mean, you look at him, I mean, his hands and his arms and his forearms. I bet he got that from chopping wood more than lifting weights.
He weighs 255. Here's Garcia back to throw. The screen pass that we've heard so much about. Barlow takes the screen to just short of midfield, about the 48. Not enough for a first down.
That was an interesting formation for the 49ers. They had both their halfbacks in there. They had Garrison Hearst and Kevin Barlow. Barlow is here. Hearst is split out. And, of course, here's what the screen pass is. You know, you just take it and you let him come up in there, let his lineman form in front of him, get the ball, get the block, and then you're going to pick up that yardage.
Terry Jackson now is the lone setback, 3rd and 6. Opening drive, and they're showing blitz, and they're coming. Incomplete. Good defensive play intended for Stokes. Stopped by Troy Vincent.
You're going to see that, you know, here's Stokes on the outside. Troy Vincent, one of the best corners in all of football. I mean, he is a great cover corner, but he's also a tackler. You know, sometimes you use that word cover corner, and it means that you don't play sometimes when they run. Troy Vincent plays every down.
Jason Baker back to the record holder, Brian Mitchell.
Well, he's done this a lot, hasn't he, Brian Mitchell?
All those years with Washington, now with Philadelphia.
Punt and kickoff returner.
Tried to step aside, but the 49ers coverage is excellent. George McCullough was down in good coverage. And so the Eagles will take over.
Special is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36.
Brian Mitchell, who just returned that punt, as John said, returns punts and kickoffs, and has done it so well over the years. Brian Mitchell, career yards, total yards. Hayton, Jerry Rice, and Brian Mitchell. Pretty good company.
Yeah, and most of Brian Mitchell's, though, are from the kick return,
yeah,
like
sure.
we're talking about. And the biggest part of that is from kickoff return.
McNabb, reverse coming, fumble. The bounce goes to the Eagles. It's James Thrash as he left the ball, but it bounced right back up to him.
Well, that took an artificial turf bounce to Thrash. That was a lucky one. Another thing, you see they hand it to Deuce Staley, and he hands it to Thrash. And that's always a tough thing when you have someone handing the ball off who normally doesn't hand it off. You like to always have your quarterback doing the handing off, but on a reverse, if you want to make it look real, you have to hand it to Staley, then let him handle it to James Thrash. And luckily for the Eagles, it bounced right back up to James Thrash.
They lost 5, so it's 2nd and 15 as Donovan McNabb hands off to Staley. Beg your pardon, it's Buckhalter. Harrell Buckhalter. Let's look at the Eagles' offense now. The offensive line, and they are playing very well. Thomas, Welborn, Fraley, Mayberry, and Runyon. Todd Pinkston and James Thrash, the wide receivers. Staley, Cecil Martin, the regular fullback, and Chad Lewis, the tight end. Donovan McNabb. Very versatile. A quarterback who can throw it, and he excels when he runs it. Swings it outside. That's Cecil Martin. And the Eagles are going to have to punt.
Yeah, they did get out of the hole there after that fumble to James Thrash, and they got out. They're going to get a little field position back. You see John Runyon, the big tackle there. He always, the play's over or just about over, and he has to get in one more hit before he goes off the field. He is something.
Sean Landetta back to punt. We've been saying that name a long time. Sutherland will return it. Gets across the 40 to about the 42. No score yet. 9:43 left in the first quarter. The Eagles, with a win, can cinch the East.
There are moments in our lives.
In San Francisco, it's 0-0. Happy holidays from all of us as well. Kevin Barlow is in the backfield along with Fred Beasley. Garcia is still the quarterback. 1st and 10 at their own 42. Garcia back to throw it. Looking to find somebody, and does find Beasley. Let's go down to Ron Pitts.
Guys been talking about Jeff Garcia's torn rib cartilage. He's got 2 answers for it today. Number 1, right here, the flak jacket. It's designed to cushion the blow and also kind of diffuse the blow so it's not pinpointed in one area. His problem is right here in this rib cage. He's got a bubble pad also in there to help it. Now, I talked to him before the game. He said, I had to take the pain injection shot. That's the only way I could come out here and play today. I'm in a lot of pain. He said, no matter if I throw a long ball or a short ball, it's still going to hurt, and I got to fight through it. Pat?
Well, so far he has fought through it. That's Barlow.
Well, so far he really hasn't been hit.
No.
And, you know, as Ron Pitts just reported, he has 3 things going there. He has the flak jacket, and then underneath the flak jacket he has another pad, and then, of course, through modern medicine, he has an injection, and there's no way that he could have played without that. I mean, we saw him on Thursday, just 2 days ago, and the condition that he was in 2 days ago, there was no way that I thought Jeff Garcia would be able to play.
He tried to pick up a plate of food, and that looked like it hurt.
He even had a tough time getting in and out of the chair.
Yeah. Here he is from the spread formation and drops it over the middle. That's Barlow, short of midfield, and the 49ers again will have to punt.
And we were talking earlier about how Steve Mariucci said, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. And if they keep playing like this, it is going to be a low-scoring game if you keep throwing those 2-yard passes and not being able to run. I mean, he would like to be able to run the ball. Last week, after Jeff Garcia got hurt, under the whole 3rd quarter, they ran the ball and controlled it. Eric Deese thought, boy, they really like the offensive line now. And he says it was because Jeff Garcia couldn't throw.
High kick from Baker. Mitchell, fair catch. 0-0 score. We're in the first quarter in San Francisco.
There's Hollis Thomas, the old defensive tackle of the
He looks
Eagles.
like he's already had happy holidays.
Looks like Santa Claus, doesn't he? Ready to, You know, yesterday, the Eagles practiced here at Candlestick, and they were trying to, if any spies or anything, so all the defensive players wore different jerseys. Hollis Thomas wore Brian Dawkins' jersey, number 20. And how he got into that, I have no idea.
I don't know how that happened.
Good catch.
McNabb to Chad Lewis. Here's the 49er defense. Remember, 2 straight shutouts, and part of it is due to that good secondary. The defensive line You just saw there's the three linebackers. Derek Smith leads the team in tackles. And there's that secondary we were talking about, Webster and Plummer. Very young, but very talented. McNabb. Freddie Mitchell, who has come on for the Eagles of late.
Freddie Mitchell, the #1 draft choice of the Eagles, and that's what they needed. And if you look, here's the thing that you have to have. You have to have a pocket. Now let's just watch it here, how the Eagle offensive linemen make a pocket. You let the outside guys or the defensive ends go up. And now you have your pocket here. Now you have your ends here. Now he can step up. Watch as he steps up. See if you pin the tackles inside, take the ends up the field, and that creates the pocket for the quarterback. That was a perfect one.
And he completes the pass for 23 yards. Outside, Cecil Martin. Broke a tackle and got additional yards.
Cecil Martin's proud of himself after that one because it looks like it wasn't going to be anything. He throws it out here quickly to his fullback, Cecil Martin. He makes a miss right there and runs through it, and now he picks up another 5 or 6 yards.
And runs over a couple of guys.
Looks like a bucking horse. What's Donovan McNabb? That's played before. That was the way you auto. That's having fun playing quarterback. You look and you give the defense away.
That's Deuce Staley on the draw play that gets nothing.
That's a funny short yardage play, although it was second and short, not third and short. You usually like to get to the line of scrimmage as quickly as possible on a short yardage play and usually don't run a draw or a delay. And Andy Reid there, he said he invented that thing of putting his board up in front of his mouth when he talked. He said it wasn't for spies when he first did it. It was so you can hear, so you can keep the sound inside your microphone, if that makes sense.
Every coach we've ever talked to thinks they invented it.
Because we said, well, Mike Holmgren did it before you. Yeah, but he did it for a different reason. Andy Reid, one of the great guys.
Staley gets the first down.
And that's usually the type of short yardage play that you run. And maybe they figured on second and short that they would pop something through on a draw. And then Andy Reid came back. Andy Reid, one of the head coaches that calls his own plays. Andy Reid came back with a true or real short yardage play. Just getting in behind his big tackle, John Runyon, with the lead blocked by the fullback.
Andy Reid and Steve Mariucci both on Mike Holmgren's staff at Green Bay.
Okay, babe.
McNabb changing something, and the 49ers changed late on their defense, and it works effectively. Deuce Staley gets the carry.
Yeah, they tried to bring Lance Schulters up, and he was going to be the 8th man in the box, and John Runyon spotted him.
And so did McNabb.
And Schulters was going to go up. But watch him as he comes up. Here's John Runyon right here. Now watch, he's going to come up on the right side, and you see him come down. Now watch, he just goes and gets it. Lance Schulters became the 8th guy in the box. John Runyon knocked him out of the box.
He became Runyon's target. 2nd and 7.
That's probably his assignment, too. If there's an 8th guy in the box, Runyon, knock him out of the box.
Here comes the 49er blitz, and McNabb gets away. Throws back across the field to Staley, and he's got blockers in front of him.
Ooh, that was a great play. That was an improv play, too.
Yep.
Donovan McNabb was great on that one because he had an overload. He had a blitz on one side where he's going to get a blitz where you have more guys coming than you can block. So there's going to be a free guy, so now he knows that he has to scramble. Watch, he's able to stop and scramble and find Deuce Staley back on the other side.
Blockers in front of him.
I know, and that was the original side that the blitz came to.
Yep.
That's what makes Donovan McNabb, Donovan McNabb.
1st and 10 Eagles inside the San Francisco 30. Staley. Not much.
Leading receivers, if you look at the running back, St. Louis, Marshall Faulk, the Green Bay, Amon Green, and this team, the Philadelphia Eagles, their leading receiver is Deuce Staley. And a lot of those are the shorter variety, like we just saw indoor screen passes. Donovan McNabb is 5 for 5.
2nd and 9. McNabb to Staley again, and Staley trips, stumbles, but got it up for a first down.
Look at that thing on Staley's right arm. He has 2 bad shoulders. You can see he has a harness on the right arm that keeps that shoulder down. Like Deuce Staley was saying the other day, that I don't think that they want to run me inside too much, but they are doing that. There you can see the harness. Again, it goes from his left arm up to his right arm, up to his shoulder. See, there's something happened with the harness.
They're measuring for the first down, which they got. In the meantime, Buckhalter has replaced Staley.
You can see that Deuce Staley's rushes, none to the left, 1 to the right, and 5 to the middle. He was saying Andy Reid's kind of taking it easy on me because I got 2 bad shoulders. And then he's run them up the middle so far in the first quarter 5 times.
Andy said that Deuce, coming back from injury, from the foot injury that he had, is still just getting back to close to where he was before he had the injury. McNabb takes a timeout.
Brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Beechwood Aged Budweiser, with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. By Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. And by Norelco, for an unexpectedly close shave guaranteed. Put it to the test.
Now that's a pile of jelly beans.
That's a world record for jelly beans in one place.
I think so.
You know, sometimes they're spread out, but they had a convention there. All the jelly beans got together, and that was the biggest convention of jelly beans in the history of jelly beans.
And that's, you can look up in your record books.
Yeah, that's in the record book.
McNabb drills it. Complete to Pinkston.
And that was way too much time. I mean, Donovan McNabb had excellent pass protection. This is what it's all about. You know, that if you can do this, then it's just playing 7-on-7. Look at the time that he has. He can look. He looked in the middle, then he came back to the left, and he has clean feet where he can step up and just throw the ball.
A flag on the play.
Players in the offensive huddle. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
That was on the next play. You can't do that. That was the thing. Years ago, we used to do that. I remember that I was doing that with the Oakland Raiders, and Bud Grant was doing it in Minnesota.
A lot.
Yeah, we'd put like 15 guys in the huddle, and then just before it was out, you would run off 4. That time the Eagles had 12 guys in the huddle. As we Bubank used to say, all we wanted was our fair advantage.
Here's McNabb. Drops it outside. That's Staley. And don't forget, coming up on Fox in February, NASCAR will be back in February. Right now it's, well, could be hockey, I suppose. Could be somebody looking for. 2nd and goal.
McNabb is still perfect, 7 out of 7.
McNabb's pass is caught
Good catch.
by Freddie Mitchell.
And he threw that in the perfect location.
Yep.
You know, and the thing is they're running they're winning this battle at the line of scrimmage because they're giving McNabb the time to find his receiver and then step up and throw it where he wants to. He threw it there where the only guy that was going to touch that ball was his receiver.
3rd and goal. That's the end of the first quarter with the score: the Eagles nothing, the 49ers nothing. This Fox NFL special from San Francisco will continue after these messages. With John Madden. And we're about to start the second quarter. with the Eagles 3rd and goal at the 49er 2.
And this is the 13th play of this drive. They've had the ball for 7 minutes and 39 seconds.
Staley is the deep back.
That Eagle offensive line has dominated the 49er defensive line.
McNabb chased and fires and throws it away. That's all he could do. Ronnie Hurd was after him.
Ronnie Hurd was blitzing from the backside. And, you know, there's no rear view mirrors on those helmets, but you just had the feeling that McNabb could feel him coming. Here's Hurd right here, and he's coming and gaining.
Yeah.
McNabb did. He knew, I better get rid of this thing.
He might have heard Hurd coming.
Or felt Hurd coming.
He would have felt Hurd. Akers from 20 yards. Pops 3. That is his 17th consecutive field goal, extending the longest streak in Eagles history.
We'd like to wish all of our brave troops at home and overseas
a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
Well, thank you guys, and happy holidays from all of us as well. Akers is going to kick off. Benny Sutherland back deep for the 49ers. To count for the only points so far. 20-yard field goal to kick off. And it's another short one. Taken at the 14 by Sutherland. And he is slung down at about the 20 by Buckhalter. 49ers will start from there.
Is brought to you by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Are you ready for a cold one? By Zales, the Diamond Store. By Autotrader.com, the biggest, best used car site on the planet. And by the Remington Microscreen-free TCT Shaver, a totally close shave even on the tough spots.
A Joe Montana jelly bean portrait.
I knew when that started going back that I recognized that guy's eyes.
Yep. He's got to have some dental work done or another bean put in there or something.
Joe Montana, what a great one he was.
Boy.
His great 49er teams during that era. Bill Walsh coaching, Joe Montana quarterbacking.
The Eagles came on a blitz. Garrison Hearst gets the carry and is taken out early.
Jeremiah Trotter is the guy that is right in there. The time of possession, the 49ers 32.25. That's per game, and that's second in the NFL. The Eagles' time of possession isn't as good.
28th in the NFL.
Now, sometimes the Eagles go through periods where they just don't get anything going offensively, and that's usually the first quarter. And the second quarter, they're very explosive.
Here's Garcia up the middle to his tight end, Eric Johnson. And he didn't look like he was hurting. Garcia didn't then.
He threw that one. The first thing we have to do is here's Derek Deese here against Hugh Douglas, and he has to get him. Now, Derek Deese was telling us to block Hugh Douglas. He said, I have to get my helmet underneath his helmet. And you see on that play, he did.
Yeah.
Hugh Douglas won that one because his helmet was underneath Deese's. But that is a heck of a throw by Jeff Garcia.
And a pretty tough catch.
Eric Johnson ran right into Damon Moore, the strong safety, just as he caught that.
Fred Beasley's the long setback, and he gets the carry.
He ran it wrong.
Hugh Douglas.
Yeah, Hugh Douglas is a defensive lineman. And look, he gets in a 4-point stance. But if you go away from him, you better block him, because he is going to flatten out and come right down that line of scrimmage and get in on that tackle. The thing you have to do is you have to block him, or you have to fake and bootleg out to his side to make him stay at home, because he's too quick to not block in the backside.
Just a little too intelligent.
Terrell Owens hasn't had a ball thrown to him yet.
Stokes is the man of motion. Garcia gives to Garrison Hearst.
Isn't Garrison Hearst something? I mean, here's a guy that...
Wonderful story.
Right, and it's gotten better than a wonderful story. I mean, he went through five ankle operations and missed 2 years, and then came back this year. So far, he's gained over 1,000 yards, and he's gone from a good story to a good running back to a Pro Bowl running back.
Has he ever? And you know what? He still has a good time doing it.
Yeah, he's kind of, I mean, he's the leader of this team.
The Eagles come on a blitz up the middle. Garcia unloaded quickly.
And Terrell Owens is mad, too, and he's showing it. That's the first one that he's thrown to Terrell Owens. Of course, we talked about Jim Johnson and how they like to blitz. They like to get an overload so that they're always going to have a free guy. Jeff Garcia saw it, felt it, knew that he had to get rid of the ball.
Jason Baker back to punt. His third one of the day coming up. And Brian Mitchell, ever dangerous. Back deep. Good kick. Mitchell has no chance. Out of bounds at the 11, where the Eagles will take over. They lead 3-0. See what you started?
Right. All you have to do is ask. There you are, guys, right there. Old Cal High Frush football.
Yep.
My sons coached against Cal High Frush football. They coach Foothill Frush football. And Foothill beat Cal High.
I was going to say, your sons won, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But I shouldn't even say that. I mean, that's kind of fun. I mean, they're all out there and they're doing great things, and they have great high school programs in the East Bay.
McNabb cuts it loose to Thrash. I mean, he'll cut it loose.
And Thrash has kind of become his go-to or possession guy. And in this West Coast offense, both these teams run the West Coast offense. The Z or the flanker, or the wide receiver that's on the same side as the tight end, will be the guy that always gets the most passes. I mean, that's Jerry Rice, and that's, Antonio Freeman. That's those guys. James Thrash is that guy in this offense.
McNabb back to throw it again. Screen pass, Staley, and it's well set up. Flag on the play. Comes flying from deep. Staley had the first down.
And that was a great screen pass, because when you can get your two linemen out there and there's only one guy to block, you know that you're going to get some yardage.
Tony Corrente is the referee.
John Runyon is always looking for something to knock down.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 34. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Jamie Reeder. But watch John Runyon.
Yeah, let's just watch him anyway, because when he comes, you better never, ever stand around a pile when John Runyon's around.
That's one of the first lessons that I ever learned playing in the NFL. Don't stand around a pile.
Nope.
You either get in it or get away from it.
That's right. And if you get in it, you like to be on top of it.
Yep.
But there's no reason to stand behind it.
Nope.
John Runyon just taught that lesson.
There are too many of those guys around. Second down.
They're usually centers that do that, though, not tackles.
McNabb, Thrash gets the first.
Yeah, we talked about being the flanker Z, and that's what Thrash is. You see here, they have three wide receivers on this side, and they're just going to come in and run a slant. Thrash is the outside guy right here. McNabb has a couple of choices, but the first choice will always be in the slant, will always be the outermost guy. That's the safest throw that he has. Thrash got a step there on Jason Webster.
Staley. A strong run.
I'll tell you one thing, this offensive line of the Eagles is really handling this defensive line of the 49ers, because you look at that, I mean, Deuce Staley gets through there, and the first guy hitting him is either a linebacker or a defensive back. But this group here has really done the job. I mean, look, they get a guy on a guy, and they get him backwards, and the first guy hitting him there, like I just said, is a defensive back. When you can run and get through the inside, and the first guy that hits you is the safety, you have some good blocking.
McNabb. The bullet goes through Mitchell's hands. Let's go down to Ron Pitts.
You know, guys, considering the amount of rain they've had here in the Bay Area the last couple of days, the footing for the players seems pretty good. One reason is what the grounds crew put down before the game. This stuff is called Turfex, and it's a bunch of ground-up sand and rock. They just threw it down right after they put the tarp off, and it's designed to absorb a lot of water. It's held up pretty good. You can see nobody's doing a lot of slipping. Pat, back up to you.
All right, Ron, you look pretty good.
That looks like something you'd eat for breakfast, some kind of cereal that's healthy for you.
Nutritious. McNabb looking to screen, and now he's going to look to take off. And McNabb steps out of bounds.
But he does have those moves, and he waited and waited, and that one there, they know that they have to contain McNabb, especially to his right. 49er defense have good containment that time, but they also had good coverage downfield because McNabb had no one to throw to.
Benny Sutherland goes back deep. And Sean Landetta with his 6th team doing the punting for the Eagles, and this is a good kick. Sutherland signaled fair catch. That was a wise choice. So the 49ers will take over. 8:54 left in the first half.
I just want to do it right today.
Just watch your corner. Get all your men back here alive.
Your men are going to look to you to make the right decisions. Their lives depend on it.
No fear! Oh, yeah, right! Space between the bullets and our fire. Okay, I can hear bells ringing. Waiting for you. The rhythm of the dawn. Splash in your heart. Like Durant, we won't leave you behind. Go! Gotta get you out of here, buddy.
Black Hawk Down, rated R. Opens Friday in New York and Los Angeles. Everywhere January 18th.
All right, good crowd.
Tomorrow, it's another full day of NFL action, beginning with the undisputed champion of pregame shows, Fox NFL Sunday, presented by Energizer. Then the Bears battle the Redskins, and the Cowboys look to stop the Cardinals, plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. Today on Fox, it's the Eagles and the 49ers, and Kevin Barlow is in the backfield.
And for Brian Dawkins there.
Flag on the play. That was from Garcia to Owens.
And Garcia saw that blitz, and then he knew when he had to blitz, although it was on the other side, that he had to have man coverage. And when he gets man coverage and he has Terrell Owens deep, that's where he's going to go.
Against the Eagles.
Illegal contact, defense, number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Called against Bobby Taylor.
21 is Bobby Taylor out there. He's the guy that's on Terrell Owens. You see, Terrell Owens gave him a little stop and go. He got the step on him now, and if Jeff Garcia just had just a little less on that ball, that would have been a completion. But remember, Jeff Garcia didn't practice all week. And he told us the other day, he said, you know, I'm not one of those quarterbacks that cannot practice and automatically go out there and have a rhythm.
Garcia coming to his right. He didn't want to run. He doesn't want to run. Owens.
I don't think Terrell Owens wanted the ball either.
I don't think so.
We know one thing, that Jeff Garcia is going to get rid of the ball quickly. I mean, he's not going to hang in there and take those hits because he can't. And with those ribs, he needs pretty good protection. And if he sees the blitz going or the blitz coming, he just has to get rid of that ball.
And thus far, he's been able to do that.
Because he's still standing.
2nd and 8. They're showing blitz again. Barlow. Harry Beasley.
You see what they do in their blitzes? They overload a side, and that's Jim Johnson's theory is you don't blitz, someone from the side or someone in the middle. You take one side or the other, and you get an overload on that. And you blitz against their protection. And you'll see it here. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you have 4 blockers, they're going to bring 5. If you have 3 blockers, they want to bring 4. If you have 2, they'll bring 3.
Beasley and Moore got into a little shoving match after the play was over, but nothing happened. Timeout called by Garcia. 49ers have 2 left, 7:19 left in the first half, 3-0. Back in San Francisco, 3-0, the Eagles over the 49ers. O'Keefer.
Yeah, Cheeky O'Keefer, they're taking off now. He was replacing John Engelberger, who was normally the starting left end. O'Keefer started and played very well last week. Started and played today. It'll be interesting to see if Engelberger comes back in.
Garcia drops. Owens, the target. Picked up by Bobby Taylor. Incomplete, and the 49ers again will have to punt.
Yeah, the 49ers have yet to cross the 50-yard line. We said earlier that when Steve Mariucci said this is going to be a low-scoring game, I kind of had the feeling that it was going to be a relatively conservative offense, and that's what we've seen so far this first half.
Well, among other things, when he told us that, it was raining about as hard as you'll ever see it rain at practice.
And they practiced that whole time, and what they got out of that, I have no idea. But I would have done the same thing.
Mitchell was back, couldn't get up to the punt. There's a flag on the play.
Now there's a flag right on the line of scrimmage at the 35-yard line. Aaron Pointer, the official.
Against the Eagles. They'll bring this whole operation back and re-kick. I don't believe that's enough for a first down, or it might be. Yes, it is.
During the kick, holding. Receiving team number 52.
During the kick.
10-yard penalty will be assessed from the end of the kick. First down.
Barry Gardner, so it was after the ball was kicked, so looking for the perfect holiday gift this holiday season, introducing the best damn sports show period. With host Chris Rose, Tom Arnold, and a bunch of ex-jocks. It's the only show that gives you sports comedy, commentary, scores, and highlights packaged in 2 full hours for your enjoyment. Staley, no gain.
We just got word that Cheeky O'Keefer, we just saw him take off. The first word is he has a strained right lower leg. It'll be interesting to see if he comes back or how long that Engelberger can go. And now they have Setzer.
Right now it's Setzer, yeah.
Bobby Setzer, number 90. One-year guy, was on a practice squad last year.
Thrash. The target.
But the guy that did take O'Keefer's place is a guy who O'Keefer took his place, John Engelberger. He's in there. There was Setzer was in there at the right tackle. Here's Engelberger right here. In fact, it's a zone dog. You see that he was lined up as a defensive lineman and dropped out as a linebacker. And Engelberger has a bad heel. Steve Mariucci said, you know, we'll dress him and he can play if he has to, and then right off the bat, he has to.
They need 11 yards for the first down, and McNabb steps around and throws, and the pass is incomplete. It was intended for Staley. And the Eagles will have to punt now. Tempers flare momentarily, or maybe more than momentarily.
Well, the Eagles have a couple of guys on that offensive line. We talked about John Runyon. The other guy is John Wellborn, and the other guy is the center, Hank Fraley, that will always keep a little action going after the whistle blows.
Now, Runyon looks like it. Wellborn looks like it. Fraley doesn't look like he'd keep the action going.
And Fraley looks like Santa Claus.
Yet Andy Reid said he's the toughest guy of the bunch. Ball rolls down to the 49er 40.
It's not always about body. It's what you do with what you have. And Hank Fraley is one of those guys that have done very well.
What you do is what you have. In some cases, people have more to do with.
And then some people have less to do with and do more.
Downfield prior to the kick. Offense, number 88. The penalty is declined. First down.
Since that long drive by the Eagles, we've either seen very, very good defense or not so good offense. I would think that both offenses are playing rather conservatively.
Sputtering, would you say?
Well, you know, the Eagles did have that one long drive, and they looked pretty good on that drive, but then they got stopped down there in the goal line. They had to settle for a field goal.
Well, they had 3 out of it.
And the 49ers still haven't been across midfield yet. Darrell Owens has only caught one pass, and that was that one for 2 yards.
Here's Garrison Hearst. And he nudges over the left side for just a couple.
Here's the thing, if you're going to stop the run, the guys that have to stop it initially are the 2 defensive tackles. They have to eat up blockers, and they do a good job. Then that frees the linebacker. You see, if you can do that, if the tackles can take on the inside 3 or 4, then the linebackers can flow and make the plays. The 49ers third down conversion 0 for 4. They only have 3 first downs. They haven't passed midfield.
Garcia has no backs this time. Throws up the middle to Owens, who makes the catch. And that's their first venture into the other end of the field.
Owens is a little feisty right there.
Yes, he is.
The second pass that he caught, and again, I think he wants to open things up, you know, and make plays like this. Owens is still not completely healthy.
No.
He has 2 bad ankles and a bad hip, because usually when he catches a ball like this, he'll try and run through things. That time he went down way too easy for Terrell Owens.
Terry Jackson is in the backfield. Brett Beasley has an injured right hand. Here's Garcia, gets away from the blitz, and he's going to take off. Slides to the 30, and that was close to a collision.
A collision that Jeff Garcia didn't want.
That's exactly right.
There's a point where adrenaline takes over and competitiveness and all those things, and you forget about everything, because he knows that after he gets out of here that he can have a free one if he takes a slide. He not only does things like he goes head first, and he just avoids the first collision, and he took a knee right in the face at the end there.
He just avoided Carlos Emmons.
I really respect this guy. I mean, he's been something. And every time I see him, I have more respect for Jeff Garcia than I did the time before.
He is tough. Here's the handoff to Hearst. To the Eagle 20.
Now they got something going in this, you know, this 49er offense, this West Coast offense is a rhythm or a flow thing. And they started to get the rhythm when they hit Terrell Owens. Then they come back. Garrison Hearst makes a great cutback there, because you can see the flow. Everyone flowed to the left, and he just cut right back against the grain.
One of the things that the 49ers were talking about Garrison Hearst in his comeback from all the problems he had, is he's seeing a lot better. Here's Garcia back in the pocket and down, throws the ball down. Flag on the play. This has to be intentional grounding. Hugh Douglas.
Yeah, this is one that they don't let you do anymore. You know, you can't throw the ball at the feet of one of your receivers anyway on that screen pass, and that's a rule I wish they would change, you know, because the guy's alternative is to either get sacked or do this.
There will be no foul for intentional grounding as the quarterback was being pulled to the ground, affecting his release and trajectory of the ball.
Well, that's a good call.
Incomplete pass, second down.
I just don't like that anyway. You know, Derek Deese, we talked about how he has to block Hugh Douglas, and they've been doing a good job on Hugh Douglas because he's the guy that's going to get the first pressure, and you can see that he's gotten some pressure, but they've always stayed between him and their quarterback, Jeff Garcia.
Which is Derek Deese's forte.
Yeah, he's a very athletic offensive lineman.
Hearst. Stiff arm. Face mask, I imagine, by Hearst. And he is slow in getting up.
That's what the Eagles are saying. That was Troy Vincent making the tackle. Talked about Troy Vincent before. He's not only a good cover guy, but he is a very good tackler.
And Hearst limps off.
After discussion, the defense grabbed the shoulder pad, pulled on the shoulder pad of the runner. Therefore, there is no foul. Running play ended, third down.
That's something. You know, 2 plays in a row, they picked up their flag and said it wasn't. Oh, they were right. He did have the face mask.
Yes, he did.
Then he got the shoulder pad. So what he thought he saw, he did see. And what he called is the thing that he saw second.
Meantime, Hearst.
That's Stan Sears. You just got the wind knocked out of you. That's not.
You can't get in that stance.
No. That's a good stance. I mean, that's not a knee or ankle or something like that. I know what that one is.
Eagle blitz is coming. They get it out to Owens, and Owens fighting for yards, fighting for the end zone. Didn't quite make it. He thinks he might have.
No, but that's Owens running by going. I said that he didn't run earlier like Terrell Owens. That time he did run like Terrell Owens. I mean, he is big and strong and fast and one of the best in this game, and he can do this, that rack or run after the catch. When he's going, he can take a lot of people with him. See how big and strong he is? I don't know that he didn't get that thing. I guess his knee probably went out of bounds. It's where his knee is. And probably his knee went out of bounds because the ball right there does cross the lane.
Brandon Whiting injured on the last play for Philadelphia, and he goes to the sideline. Owens saying he got in.
And
Here comes Hearst back.
Yeah, we were right about Garrison Hearst. That was just getting the wind knocked out of him. I've seen that before. In fact, that happened to him here a couple weeks ago, that same injury. And Corrente is taking a couple of back.
Yep.
San Francisco is challenging the ruling on the field that the runner was down short of the goal line.
This one we'll have another look at.
Yeah, I think we have to see where his knee is because it's where the ball is when any part of his body touches the ground. Because he's going to reach out. Now there he's down, seeing the ball didn't cross.
But that does give you an idea of how strong he is.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what Terrell Owens is all about. You know, getting open, catching the ball, using his body. In fact, he has a rule that is ball, me, him. In other words, he always gets his body between the ball and the defender. Again, we have to see where his body touches down. He's okay right there. Now his knee's down there. He's reaching out. It's very close.
Yeah.
It's very close. His knee is down there. And all it is the football has to go across the plane. Now, the plane can extend out. I mean, the goal line can extend out this way, but the ball has to break this plane of the goal line, and it can break it on either side of the pylon.
But if another part of his body is down, as you pointed out earlier.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah.
It's when his body goes down, or his knee goes down in this case, where the ball is when the knee went down. There's a knee down right there. Here's the ball, and here's the plane. And it's very close. I would say they'll probably stay with their original call.
I think so, too. I don't think it's indisputable.
After reviewing the play, the runner's knee had hit the ground prior to the ball crossing the goal line. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands. The ball be placed at the 1/2 yard line. San Francisco will be charged with a timeout.
And that leaves them with one timeout.
This is where both of these teams are very good in this area. Of course, when you get down there in the 1-inch line, I don't know that this isn't in the 49ers' favor, but when you get first down there, but look at this. The 49ers are the best in the red zone, and Eagles' defense is the best defense in the NFL. But I don't think that this is a fair matchup when you get first down in there. But it'll be interesting to see if Jeremy Newberry moves the ball. I've seen centers, when they go like this, they move the ball forward. Now, he just did it a little.
Yeah, a little bit.
But sometimes a center can pick up a touchdown for you down here.
A flag on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 81. 5-yard penalty.
Owens
remains first down.
And a 5-yard penalty. That hurts.
Yeah, they were down there with first down and inches. And you'll see here's Terrell Owens right here lined up as a wing. And he does start forward.
Yep. With a man in motion as well.
Someone's going to say, hey, you got to concentrate. You'll say, don't tell me what I have to do. Just score a touchdown and it'll be okay.
Garcia gets to Hearst. Hearst picks up a couple.
Had they not had that penalty, that would have been a touchdown. Yep. But then they probably wouldn't have been in the same defense and all those other types of things would come into play. This is an area that if they had a healthy Jeff Garcia, Steve Mariucci would call a bootleg or something like that where Jeff Garcia would move out and have the option of running or throwing.
We're getting a 2-minute warning before the end of the first half. Happy holidays from Ray Brown.
Looked like he was saying happy holidays to Hugh Douglas.
Yep.
I like guys like Ray Brown. I mean, he's a special player. He's a special guy. I mean, he's good in the community. He's good in the locker room. He's good on the field. And an offensive lineman in this league for 16 years. When you have a category of special guys, I think Ray Brown is always on that list.
He'd be right up there. Here's Garcia looking for something. Has to throw it away.
Now that best against the best is starting to look like something, and that challenge that Steve Mariucci had, because it was only a few inches, and you wonder why it kind of challenged that spot, because you think it's so easy, but then you see what happens. I mean, you take a loss, you have a penalty, and then that whole thing changes. So now we're back to a third down matchup. 49ers are second in the NFL, and the Eagles defense is third in the NFL. So this also is not a bad matchup.
Here's Garcia looking in the end zone. There's a flag on the play as Garcia throws and hits the bottom of the crossbar on the goalpost.
And that's going to be holding against the 49ers. The way Scott Gregg is standing, he kind of thinks it's on him, or he has that stance of a guy who just held. That old hand on the hip type of thing. That's a stance of a guy who was just
holding.
caught.
Offense, number 78. Yeah. Penalty is declined. Fourth down.
So the thing is, if you ever do get caught holding, never get in that stance because it gives everything away. And now again, it makes Steve Mariucci's, challenge look better and better. Here's one they didn't see right here, holding a J.J. Stokes. Woo! Boy, that was a freebie, and that was a guy that Jeff Garcia was looking for it, too, wasn't it?
This from 21 yards out by Cortez. And we have a 3-3 tie with 1:44 left to play in the first half.
For protecting our freedom. Happy holidays.
May we add our thanks to that.
Three pretty good defensive players there, too, weren't they? Brian Dawkins, Troy Vincent, Hugh Douglas. Kind of the core of this Philadelphia Eagle defense.
Which is excellent.
And I like their coach, their defensive coordinator, Jim Johnson. Yeah, I mean, he has a thing that he's going to attack and he's going to blitz, and the players buy into it and they love it. I mean, he made Brian Dawkins probably with their defense. And Brian Dawkins is a great player, but he probably made him the best safety in all of football.
Mitchell down at about the 26. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howe, and Chris will have highlights and analysis of the first half and highlights of today's earlier game between the Miami Dolphins and New England Patriots. Also, the Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with all the stats from today's action. The Visa halftime report.
Yeah, those guys in this game only had 2 field goals.
The highlights should be pretty easy. Here's McNabb. And he's going to take off.
Boy, is he strong, isn't he? I mean, he ran. There was a couple of defensive tackles. Dana Stubblefield was there, and he just ran right through him. I mean, there's a big, strong defensive lineman and linebackers, and Donovan McNabb, sometimes when he's running, is a bigger, stronger quarterback. Well, Steve Mariucci said he thought he'd be low scoring, or it would be low scoring.
Steve Mariucci was right. Here's McNabb just shakes the guy off, fires to Staley, and he'll get an Eagle first down.
You know, that's a big thing. When you have a quarterback that is as strong as McNabb is, that, you know, even though you get a rush and you get a guy breaking free, he can still shake it off. And that way, he reminds me a lot of Terry Bradshaw. I mean, you know, there were some times that you just wanted to rush Terry Bradshaw and just keep him under control. You didn't want to commit to him, because when you committed, he would do just like Donovan McNabb does. I mean, he's so big and strong, he just makes that little shoulder move, and you just go right off him.
Do you think maybe Bradshaw will react to that during the halftime, your praise of him?
No, he was, I'll tell you, we played a lot of games against Terry Bradshaw and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we all had as much respect for him as you can have for a quarterback. I mean, he was good. I mean, he could run and he could throw, and he was so big and strong that it was just like McNabb's doing here. I mean, guys would just fly off of him.
McNabb has a lone setback behind him. Now he's not behind him.
He was calling a pass protection there. That's exactly what he was doing.
Flags come flying. And somebody moved.
He was trying to get Deuce Staley, his running back, in position to pass protect.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
John Welburn.
That's not fair. That's not fair. That's live. I mean, you always say that you have distractions when you're on the road. That's the definition of one right there.
Turn around, Hollis.
No, you can't turn around. Don't let him distract you.
Here's McNabb dropping the throw. Stepping up, the ball comes loose. He's got it back, and now he goes down. John Engelberger stayed in pursuit.
And that was the time that McNabb didn't get away. We talked about his strength and how he can get away from things. We're going to see Engelberger is right here, coming from this side. He comes through and he grabs McNabb's right arm. McNabb picks up the ball, and then Engelberger goes and gets him again. But here's Engelberger right here. Good pass rush on John Runyon, gets by, gets the arm. McNabb gets the ball. Engelberger gets McNabb.
2nd and 26. And McNabb drops again. Staley manages to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
He had to. That was the thing. They only have one timeout left. And by having one timeout, then you can throw the ball in the middle of the field. When you're out of timeouts, then you have to get the ball to the sideline or get a first down and spike it.
So Staley saved one.
But it's still a long yardage to them. It's a third and 19. So that's a tough. There's not many plays in offenses today that have a play for 3rd and 20.
Unless you have a guy like McNabb who can buy some time and throws, and that's going to be complete, but not enough for that first down. It's caught by Todd Pinkston. It's going to be about 4 yards short.
And I think with 13 seconds here, I think they'll just go for it. I mean, they'll go for it on 4th down. They still have, they still have a shot here.
Again, a reminder that coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have highlights and analysis of the first half and highlights of today's earlier game between the Dolphins and Patriots. Also, the Fox Sports ticker will keep you up to date with all the stats from today's action. Terry will have a chance to enjoy all your praise.
Yeah, they have to talk about the highlights of the games. I think for a while the Eagles thought maybe they're going for it on 4th down, but they score 3-3 here and being on the road, they're gonna punt this thing away.
And Sean Landeta comes in to punt it in the direction of Benny Sutherland, who now doesn't go back. The 49ers have nobody back.
Well, they're playing what they call safe. They're playing a safe defense because they're expecting a fake here, and they're not playing a return.
Well, they hope to get them to jump off sides,
and I think they did.
Yep.
And now that's going to be a first down, too. That's exactly what they were trying to do. The 49ers were in what you call a safe punt return, and they weren't safe. That's the two things you say. Be aware of the fake and don't jump off sides. You always say that in the huddle on a punt return.
Mike Bartram is the long snapper. And some of those guys are great actors. They can make you think they're going to snap the ball and not do it.
Well, the 49ers are worried about a fake.
Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty.
That was Bartram.
You were right. It's the center right there.
Yep.
I don't know what he did wrong, though. He can lift up. He can lift up and then look between his legs. I'm not sure what they called on him. Well, unless he moved the ball, he did. I mean, he has a right to look up. Oh, I don't think that's right. I mean, the center can look between his legs and then look up.
But that was sort of a sudden move that was not subtle enough.
I think he can do that. I mean, he didn't move the ball. Sometimes they'll move the ball.
Sure.
And they call him on that. But anyway, it's all academic anyway, isn't it?
The first half's over. That's the end of the first half with the score: the Eagles 3, the 49ers 3. This Fox NFL special will continue from San Francisco after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. 49ers 3. We'll return for the start of the second half after these messages from your local Fox station. On the way to the Eagle locker room at the half, Ron Pitts talked with Eagle head coach Andy Reid.
Coach, this is a low-scoring, kind of a head-slapping game. What do you got to do now going in, coming up for the second half?
Well, both teams know each other pretty good, so we got to come back out and keep head-slapping. You said it. So it's a heck of a game, and we got to get rid of some of these mistakes and penalties that we have, and we'll be fine. We're shooting ourselves a bit here.
All right, Coach. Good luck second half.
So they'll be head-slapping in the second half as well.
Well, and shooting yourselves isn't very good either. But you look at the offenses today, 6 points, 4.8 yards per play, only 13 first downs, third downs, 2 out of 12 conversions, 8 punts, 6 penalties. Both teams only crossed midfield one time, and both times they crossed midfield, they kicked a short field goal.
Those statistics right there are both teams now.
Yeah, that's the combined total, as we would say. So what did Andy say? He has to have some head slapping and stop shooting themselves.
Yeah.
That's always a good idea.
I didn't see a lot of that, did you?
No, but, you know, he's talking about those penalties and, you know, some of the mistakes they made. Andy is the only guy in this whole place sweating today. Andy's a good sweater.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Andy's a good guy, and he's a good coach, and he started the season wearing striped shirts that went across him. A lot of guys, including me, told me, Andy, we don't do that, so he gave me one.
I haven't seen you wearing it.
No, that's what he said. If I'm going to have one of these, you're going to have one of these. I don't wear mine. Andy doesn't wear his anymore either.
Brian Mitchell, Damian Douglas back deep for the Eagles. Cortez to kick off for the 49ers.
We have some local guys in this game from the University of California. Here, Damian Douglas being one of them.
Yep.
John Wellborn being one of them.
This is going to be Mitchell. Hasn't come close to breaking one yet and still doesn't. After the play was over, there was a
flags all over the place.
This is a little bit more than a head slap.
No, and there's another flag right now. There's at least 6 flags on the field. I think every official threw their flag. I told you, this official right here with the glasses.
Yeah.
That's Aaron Pointer, and he's from the Bay Area, the Oakland side.
Pointer sisters.
Yep, he's the brother of the Pointer sisters. Started singing. His father was a pastor of a church, and they were in the choir. They all sang in the choir.
After the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the receiving team, number 43. Also, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team, number 38. By rule, these penalties will offset first down.
There's 43 right there.
Damon Moore,
and that's just an old right hand to the face. And you're going to see here's the second one. That's Hurd. Hurd hasn't done anything.
No.
Yet. If they're going to do something, hurry up and do it. He bumped his own guys.
I didn't see anything happen with that one.
Well, he either did it before that or after that.
Here's McNabb back to throw and wheels it outside to Cecil Martin. And Martin's out of bounds on first half passing chart.
Well, we look at Donovan McNabb here, and you can see that, you know, the balls here that he threw to the right. Now, we have behind the line of scrimmage. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here that he threw behind the line of scrimmage, and those, of course, would be the screen passes. And then the deepest pass that he threw was right here at about 15 yards.
2nd and 6. McNabb to Staley.
You know, you always think of Donovan McNabb as moving, and we have this launch point. And again, everyone says that if Donovan McNabb is going to move, he's going to come out to his right side. You can see nothing here in the left. 14 out of 17 just staying in the pocket, and 1 out of 2 going to his right. So his launch points have really been in the middle or in the pocket, and not much right or left. In fact, none left.
3rd and 1. And that's Staley, and I don't think he got it.
It doesn't look like it. That's not close to the yellow line. Dana Stubblefield was standing on the yellow line and saying, you didn't make it. But you don't know where they put those.
Yeah.
Spot the ball, you know, or turn it. Here it is right here. You see where he has to get. I don't think he got close.
The yellow line is not official, but I don't think that's even close to the actual line.
And you were right. That wasn't close to neither the actual line nor the yellow line. Talking about the defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, and there's Jim Mora, the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, who has done an excellent job with this young defense. I mean, last year they went through some growing pains. He stayed with these young guys, especially the two young corners, stayed with them, and they're reaping the benefits this year.
His father is the coach at Indianapolis, but he's not Jim Mora Jr. Different middle name. And he doesn't like to be called Jim Mora Jr. Sutherland. The Eagles are down in good shape. Tie. Low-scoring game? You bet.
Every year at this time.
Bell's Special is brought to you by Toyotathon 02. Password value. Get the feeling.
We'd like to welcome all the servicemen and women who are watching today's game around the world through the facilities of the American Forces Radio and Television Network. We appreciate and thank you for everything you do for this great country.
Because what they're doing is real, and what we're doing and watching here is a game.
That's right.
And those are two totally different things.
First and 10 49ers, 3-3 score, 13-18 left in the third quarter. They start from their own 23. Garcia to Garrison Hearst.
There's Jeff Garcia's first half pass chart, and you can see he only threw one pass behind the line of scrimmage, but a lot of the passes were just in front of the 5 yards, you know, like 1 yard, 2 yard, 3 yard, 4 yard, 5 yard passes, and he only threw in the first half, or only completed one pass over 10 yards.
Owens is split wide to the left. And let's quickly go to Ron Pitts.
Well, I talked to Steve Mariucci coming out at halftime. He said 2 problems. Number one, we got to protect against the blitz. We got to be solid up front, and then when we protect against it, we have to execute downfield. He believes there are some areas where we can get some big plays, but it's about protecting against the blitz first. He said we did try to protect Jeff Garcia coming out in the first half just to see where he's at. He said right now we're going to let him go, throw the offense at him, and get the plays going down the field. Pat?
Well, that's a pretty tough order against this Eagle defense.
Well, they have to start getting the ball to his wide receivers. Terrell Owens has caught 3 passes. Stokes hasn't caught any.
Blitzer sneaking up. The pass is incomplete, intended for J.J. Stokes.
We just said that he hadn't caught any. I think that's the thing that they have to do. Ty Street's only caught 1 for 4 yards. So if they're going to get the ball down the field, as Steve Mariucci said, then they have to get it to these guys, to Owens and to Stokes and to Ty Streets when he comes in as their 3rd wide receiver.
Good coverage by Al Harris.
You know, Al Harris is the 3rd corner. He always has good coverage, doesn't he? I think, you know, he's not a starter. They always talk about the 2 starting corners here, but I think Al Harris is one of the top 3rd corners.
Flag goes down as one of the Eagles ran into the kicker.
The kicker was Jason Baker, and then he ran up and hit the guy that ran into him from behind. I have no idea why he did that. Now, again, on roughing the kicker, there's 2 types of penalties, the 5-yard or the 15-yard.
The 5-yard would not give them a first down. They still have to...
Running into the kicker, defense, 5-yard penalty.
5-yard.
Repeat 4th down.
Still 4th down.
Yeah, it's still 4th down because it won't be enough for a first down. One time, that used to be a first down penalty.
Automatic.
You see it, he just ran into him. That's different from roughing him. You see, in these punters, Jason Baker learns that after the ball leaves your foot, you just keep your foot up in the air. Like I said, that what Baker did there was stupid because he went after the guy that hit him, and they could have called a penalty on him.
Baker's going to have to punt again.
Not a lot of punters in the National Football League, or in the history of the National Football League, that really initiate a lot of fights, is there?
Well, you notice he went from the back.
Yeah.
I just got a feeling that Brian Mitchell has been kept in check by the 49ers. He's going to break one of these times. Signals fair catch and makes it. It won't be this time. And the Eagles will take over at their own 22. 3-3 tie.
Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Here's a long snapper, Brian Jennings, and watch how he looks through his legs and centers the ball with his hands coming through. After this next play, we'll break that down for you to kind of explain. You know, you always talk about having to follow through, how quarterbacks have to follow through, pitchers, baseball players, long snappers also have to follow through.
That's sort of become a lost art. Staley gets nothing.
But every coach has his son learn how to be a long snapper, because if you can snap like this, you'll always have a job. See, the head goes down, then the head comes up. And then you just lift the ball, and you're going to get it with both hands, and you just snap it back there. And look at those hands, how they both come and follow through. And his eyes are still on that ball, and he throws a perfect spiral back 15 yards to his punter.
McNabb. Pass is caught by Todd Pinkston. He just lobbed it in there.
Anytime that you can get man-to-man out here, and that's exactly what he has here with Ahmed Plummer. Pinkston gets a move to the outside. Plummer doesn't get his hands on him. Look like, and by Pinkston not looking up, Plummer didn't look up, and that ball sneaked right by Plummer.
23 yards on the completion.
Because Plummer really had pretty good position, but I think by Todd Pinkston not looking up, that kept Plummer from looking up.
Here's McNabb back to throw, steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to take off. McNabb steps out of bounds, and a flag on the play.
His upper body, how big McNabb is, and you know, he can throw. Just in a play before, we saw him throw with touch, and then we see his quickness and his speed out there in the sideline.
Against the Eagles.
That's why McNabb was so upset. He knew that it all went for naught.
A couple of injury notes, and not good ones for the 49ers.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 89. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Chad Lewis right there. McNabb sticks out of bounds. We'll bring you up to date on those injuries in a moment for the 49ers. First and 12.
Let's straighten it up.
It involved Terry Beasley and Cheeky O'Keefer, or Fred Beasley, beg your pardon. There's Staley. This is Buckhalter giving Staley a rest.
Terrell Buckhalter is a rookie. You know, it seems like there's always running backs out of Nebraska. Buckhalter is one of those guys out of Nebraska. They're always powerful guys that run hard. He was a fourth-round draft choice, and I think, you know, they didn't know how Deuce Staley was going to be or how he was going to come back. And Buckhalter has been a pretty good change of pace for him.
Staley is back. McNabb has his pass deflected. Ronnie Hurd knocked it down.
Yeah, Ronnie Hurd is, you know, comes in the nickel and dime defense, and you see him right here. He just comes unblocked, and the rule is you start to go for the quarterback, and if he goes to throw and he's looking at you, you know, you stop and jump. Ronnie Hurd did that perfectly. That's the old deal as a defender. You get between the quarterback and the guy he's throwing to.
3rd and 10. Ronnie Hurd is 6'3", by the way. And he can jump, as you saw. McNabb with good protection. Incomplete. He waited a little too long. Zach Bronson knocked it away.
Well, Zach Bronson got a great jump on that one. As you said, McNabb waited a little too long. That's at cover 2. And you see Bronson has to come over, and boom, there he comes right there. Cover 2 is when the corner comes up and the safety's over. They tried to hit that hole between the rotated corner and the safety coming over. And Bronson, right at the last second, got in there.
Brady Mitchell was the intended receiver. Sutherland. They'll bring it to the 20. 9:53 left in the third.
Christmas.
Let me see that. It all starts at 7/6 Central tomorrow on Fox.
There are the injuries that we were talking about a minute ago. Broken right hand for Fred Beasley, the fullback for the 49ers, and for Cheeky O'Keefer, a broken right fibula. And he had been playing very well. So had Beasley. Those are key injuries.
Yeah, you know, we were talking a couple of weeks ago to the Rams, and they thought Fred Beasley was the best fullback in the league.
This is Kevin Barlow. Takes a screen pass, just a little bit short of a first down.
You know, the thing you have to do to make the screen pass go, although this one goes here because the 49ers do a good job of running screens, but eventually you have to get the ball down the field. Get that defense off and get them dropping so that you can do things like this. See the guy that made the play is number 78, Hollis Thomas.
Yep.
That's what we were talking about yesterday, and Jim Johnson said that if we're going to play or stop their screens, our defensive linemen have to have a big play in it.
Garcia to Barlow. That should be enough for a 49er first. Don't forget, in February, coming up on Fox, NASCAR will be back.
It'll be right after the Super Bowl, won't it?
Next week.
Yeah?
No, that's right. The Super Bowl is in February.
Yeah, the Super Bowl's in February this year. Last time we had that, I did the pick the fun time to leave me. That's an old DW deal. One of them deals they got in NASCAR, one of them their deals.
Garrison Hearst is the lone back, and he gets the handoff. And Hearst breaks for almost enough yardage for a first. Troy Benson knocked him out of bounds. He's very close.
Yeah, and this is what they did last week against the Miami Dolphins. And again, it was the third quarter. So you watch big number 78, Scott Gregg here, pull out there and lead. In fact, he didn't even find anyone to block until right there. And, you know, a running back wants to stay patient. And by staying patient, you set up your blockers and stay behind them, and you run them on a route. That time Hearst did that.
And Hearst does that very well.
Gregg didn't even have to block anyone, but Hearst used Gregg.
That's part of that vision by a running back that we were talking about earlier. Here's Garcia. Just as he let it go. That's a catch by Justin Swift.
Justin Swift is a backup tight end. You see two tight ends on the right side. Again, Garcia makes his with his feet. He gets to the outside and throws that ball perfectly to Swift. It looks like he has both feet in. So he has control of the ball. Left foot, right foot. Those are the three things you have to have.
Both toes.
Control of the ball and both feet inbounds.
Barlow is back. Barlow to the 40.
Well, that's a heck of a combination. When they can get first downs, if you don't get first downs and have time of possession, it doesn't work. But when you can get first downs and keep rotating Garrison Hearst and Kevin Barlow, you really have something going. Hearst has a little more movement. Barlow is a slashing, powerful type runner, and you can keep them both fresh, and then you get in behind that offensive line and just start pounding. This is what they did to Miami in the third quarter last week. This is what they're starting to do to the Eagles right now.
Terry Jackson is the 49er fullback. The handoff is to Barlow. Barlow.
Boy, they hit hit that blitz there perfectly. That's the thing, you know, that you can live with the blitz and you can also die with it when something like that. When you hit it, and you hit it perfectly. Watch Barlow here. He's going to come in a trap. You see Ray Brown is coming in a trap. He left his trapper, and they just split that defense, and Kevin Barlow ran right through it. When you get a blitz and you get everyone penetrating, you know, it's like you're going for the passer, and they split that thing. The first thing he's going to run into is the defensive back.
First and 10. Show blitz again. Here's Garcia back to throw it. Looking and has time and throws complete to Eric Johnson.
I'll tell you, Kevin Barlow was great on that play, Pat. That's the thing you worry about a rookie running back. Can you pick up a blitz? Watch Barlow do it here. He's going to come to the right and pick up that blitz right there. Right there. That is a heck of a thing. I mean, they picked them both off, and that gave Jeff Garcia the time to do this.
Jackson and Barlow both made good
blocks. Both of them got blocks, and that's the thing you always worry about with a rookie back. It's not the running part of it. It's not the run blocking part of it. It's the pass protection on the blitz part of it. They got Barlow out here now.
And no backs behind Garcia. Who throws to Jackson, incomplete.
I can see what Steve Mariucci told Ron Pitts that you know, in that first half, I felt they were very conservative, and what they were trying to do is protect Jeff Garcia and get him into some kind of rhythm, but see if he was going to be okay. I think Steve Mariucci felt that he was okay. So now in the second half, he's going to open up things for
Let him go.
And we're seeing it right now.
Let him go. It's third down, just at the Eagle 21, 3rd and 4. 4 wide receivers, and Jackson behind Garcia. And Garcia to the 15. First down, 49ers. Trotter made the stop.
Garcia doesn't know any better, does he? I mean, he just knows one way to play. Jeremiah Trotter's a 255-pound middle linebacker. Now watch Jeff Garcia. He steps up. He sees an opening here. You know you can slide and be protected. He just puts his head down and he runs right into it. Look at Trotter. Oh, he's going to take this one.
He knows it's coming.
And, you know, if you've ever had ribs, no matter where you get hit, it goes right to that point, doesn't it?
And no matter what you do, cough, yawn, throw. Here's Hearst inside the 10 to about the 7.
And now they got this running game going. They got this offensive line going. They got these fans going. There's a lot of Santa Claus in the crowd today, though.
Yeah.
Santa Claus,
should be.
Santa Claus likes running game because he was an old offensive lineman one day, and you know, before he became Santa Claus. I don't know, young Santa Clauses, old Santa Clauses.
He had to watch what he was eating, though, because he got a little too heavy for the reindeer to pull.
Well, then he became a nose tackle. He moved from offense to defense.
Look out. Fumble on the exchange. Garcia, I believe, got it back.
But this offensive line is always a group that is really underrated. I mean, maybe they're overachievers or whatever they are. I mean, they're free agents and guys who were put together. You know, old guys, Ray Brown, 16 years, coached by Pat Morris, who is a heck of a coach. And if things go bad, they kind of take the blame. Then when things really go good, I've never felt that they've got the credit they've deserved.
And the handoff is to Hearst. And Hearst gets down inside the 5 to about the 2.
Derek Deese was telling us again last week when they ran the whole third quarter. Look at Scott Gregg. Offensive linemen love this when you can run. And just watch them all take off down here. You see this? They all just zone block. Get a hat on a hat. Get a man on a man. Get their legs. Stay with them. Drive them back. Get them going backwards. Get them going where they came from. And then the back gets right in behind them.
Fiore got his man turned. Newberry did a good job. Barlow knocked backwards.
The Eagles thought we've had enough of that. That's Brian Dawkins. He's a free safety. You know, and he's the type of guy that if you're going to run, they're going to get him up, and he's going to be like the extra linebacker. That's exactly what he is. He's the free safety, but the closer you get to the goal line, the more Brian Dawkins plays like a linebacker.
A quick, very quick linebacker.
I think everyone you talk to now agrees that Brian Dawkins is the best free safety in football.
Jackson is the back this time, and now he goes in motion. Garcia has a man right after him, and he is slung to the ground by Indy Kalu.
Yeah, Kalu was out there on that right side, and no one blocked him.
Right.
If you're going to let a guy go, you always let the outside guy go on a blitz. And, of course, the quarterback has to know that, and he has to throw hot. If someone's going to be free, you want the guy the farthest away from the quarterback. That was Kalu, but he wasn't that far away from Jeff Garcia. You know, and that's why the Eagles, you know, we showed that graphic earlier where they're the #1 defense inside the 20. They get you going backwards.
They sure do. This is 3rd down. Garcia looks, and now he's going to take off again. And it's taken down by Mike Caldwell. And the field goal team will come on. It was a good drive by the 49ers. They just couldn't get in.
Yeah, but it was excellent defense at the end by the Philadelphia Eagles. It started with Brian Dawkins making the stop and the run, then Kalu making the sack, and then just getting good pressure and then creating a 3rd and long, which is very difficult.
Cortez from 32 yards away. And the kick is good, and the 49ers have the lead. 6-3 with 35 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter.
West Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36. By Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be. By Miller Lite, grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time. And by Nike.
$16 plays, 66 yards. The 49ers kept the ball 9 minutes and 18 seconds. But they only got a field goal. So it's 6-3. The ball goes out of bounds, and that's a killer.
Kickoff out of bounds.
They'll bring it
By
all
rule,
the way back
the ball
to
will
the
be
40.
placed at the 40-yard line. 1st down.
31 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. 6-3.
To take this moment to thank our heroic troops around the world. A safe and happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Looks like somebody's headed for some happy holidays, or at least some full holidays.
You can't get full on cotton candy.
I haven't had any in a long time.
Well, it's still 95% air.
McNabb fakes, slips, dances, and now he's going to run and throw. Had a man. Freddie Mitchell was 5 yards behind everybody.
I'll tell you, he had to get away from Bryant Young. Bryant Young was putting pressure on him. And you see here's Freddie Mitchell, as you say, he is 5 yards behind everybody, and that ball is just overthrown. Watch Bryant Young here. See, he gets the penetration, and he makes McNabb get out of there. You see, again, we talk about how quick and how strong he is on both ends. He was a little too strong on that pass because he had Mitchell wide open.
2nd and 10. McNabb drops. Flag on the play.
I think Trey Thomas moved. I think the left tackle moved before the ball was
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty remains second down.
Was Trey Thomas.
Yeah, I was watching him, and I was thinking he either got off on that ball quickly or he left before it was snapped. He's out there blocking Andre Carter. You look at this. The Eagles have had 9 penalties for 60 yards. That's what Andy Reid was talking to Ron Pitts about at halftime. The 49ers have only had 1 penalty.
2nd and 15. Staley. Zach Bronson took him down.
Zach Bronson makes a lot of plays. You know, you think of the 2 corners of this 49er defense, and then you think of their strong safety who's Lance Schulters. But in the games that we've done, we've seen Zach Bronson make quite a few big plays.
Yeah. This is our 4th 49er game. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score of the 49ers 6, the Eagles 3. This Fox NFL special from San Francisco will continue after a word from your local Fox station.
You're watching.
That's when your interest starts.
And that was a pretty good combination there, those 2 numbers, wasn't it? Steve Young to Jerry Rice. They know what they're doing, those 2 kids.
Don't they? McNabb drops. Staley to the 30, 25. Staley to the San Francisco 10, finally stopped by Zach Bronson.
Yeah, the 49ers drafted Jamie Winborn just for this type of situation. And you see Staley, he's going to come right there in the middle, and you see here's Winborn right on him, and they say that Winborn has very good speed. He gets picked off there, but Deuce Staley was running away from him. You see Winborn is out here covering him. You see that's what you can do with a linebacker who has speed. He started to hold him, lost his hold, and then he pushed Deuce Staley. And Zach Bronson, the guy coming across and making the tackle.
McNabb throws on the way down, completes it to close to the end zone, about the 1.
Yeah, that's the thing. In the first half, I was talking about Terry Bradshaw and how he used to do that. It was that very same thing. You'd have 2 or 3 guys on him, and he's on his way down. But, you know, we always think of arm strength, but it's body strength, too. I mean, the body strength to be able to do these types of things make this guy very, very special.
James Thrash to the 1.
I mean, this is all about Donovan McNabb there. I mean, staying with something.
Yeah.
How many guys would even stay with that?
Not many. Staley slips, doesn't make it.
Well, Terry Killen's number 56 was in there, and he had the outside, and he made. It's going to be him that makes Deuce Staley lose his footing. You see 55 going out there? He's staying the outside shoulder. That makes Deuce Staley make that cut. He tried to make the cut when he really wasn't ready to make the cut, and he lost his footing. The footing in the middle of the field right here is not real good.
Thrash in motion. McNabb to throw it. Thrash, no signal yet.
I think Thrash caught the ball, but it didn't cross the plane. And you're right. I mean, all the officials around there, not one of them called it. I think this guy here looks like he's marking it. I think the ball was facing away from the goal line when he catches it. Yeah, you see, he was coming back.
Yep.
When he went down, he reached across, but that was after he was down.
Got part of his body in the end zone. Timeout. Philadelphia.
Snatch that thing off the top of your head. There's a pony somewhere talking about, oh, I don't believe it.
Rated R opens everywhere Tuesday.
This Fox NFL special is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Ali, starring Will Smith, coming this Christmas to theaters everywhere. By the Remington Microscreen-Free TCT Shaver, a totally close shave even on the tough spots. And by Beechwood Aged Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers.
There's no telling we might do. We mix up that.
It is 4th and goal at just about the 1-foot line.
Yep, James Thrash didn't get across the goal line, and the Eagles are going to go for it. I would think in this situation that McNabb would keep the ball, although they're in the huddle a long time. And usually when you're in a huddle a long time, that's a passing play. But I would think that McNabb would keep it.
McNabb fakes it, has got it. He doesn't get in. A flag on the play. A flag on the play.
And that was the thing. When they were in the huddle that long, you could tell that it was a pass, because if it's a run, it doesn't take that long to call. And a play that would take that long to call would have to be a pass.
Derek Smith. This is against the 49ers for holding in the end zone.
And that's automatic
Holding.
first down.
Defense number 30. As the foul occurred in the end zone, and the ball will be placed half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Called against Lance Schulter.
That's going to be the big thing is the penalty that gives them a first down.
Derek Smith and Jason Winborn are the two 49ers who knocked him out of bounds. Now McNabb on first down. Gives to Staley, and he doesn't get in. Now they're signaling the Eagles are that he did, but I don't think he did.
And we've seen some great goal line play today by the defense. We saw the Eagles do it earlier, and the 49ers are doing it right now. And if they don't have that penalty, that was a 4th down play, and they stopped the Eagles. Right here, they just have him stop. No one gets Derek Smith. I mean, he's there and square, and that was not a touchdown.
So it's 2nd and goal. McNabb, Staley tried to leap, but didn't leap high enough or long enough. Terry Killens hit him.
And again, the only guys raising their hands for a touchdown are the Philadelphia Eagle players. Right. There hasn't been an official. The official is spotting the ball. That means that he didn't make it. Again, good penetration there in the middle. That's exactly where they won. Those two defensive tackles in the middle won that battle, and then the linebacker could come over the top.
And Staley tried to go over the top, but didn't get high enough.
Listen to this crowd here yell for their defense.
Yeah. Timeout, Eagles. They only have one left.
Ally McBeal's world is going to get rocked.
The house works, right?
The electricity's good.
I beg your pardon?
When John Bon Jovi joins the cast of Ally this January.
To our troops overseas, be safe. Thanks for taking care of us.
This was a 4th down play where they caught Lance Schulters for holding right there. You see, the 49er defense stopped them. They get Donovan McNabb, but because of that holding, that gave the Eagles an automatic first down.
And now it's 3rd down, and they still haven't scored.
And look at this. This is the 7th play run inside.
McNabb has the ball himself and throws intercepted in the end zone. The 49ers, what a goal line stand they made.
And Derek Smith is the guy who intercepts it. Derek Smith was also the guy that made a couple of big tackles down there.
He's the guy that knocked McNabb out of bounds.
Right, and he's the guy that stopped one of the runs inside. That time he was just zoning there, and it looked like Donovan McNabb threw it right to him. But what defense we've seen today from both of these teams. Watch McNabb come here. Derek Smith is just right there in the middle. I don't know if he was trying to throw to Chad Lewis behind him, but he throws that ball right to Derek Smith.
And Derek Smith is not supposed to play on passing down.
Well, I think he was playing there because it was a goal line.
Yeah.
But he's not a pass defender, but he is a goal line player.
He is now.
A pass player.
Yeah. 1st and 10, 49ers. Garcia to to Hearst, and there's a flag on the play.
I'll tell you, the Eagles sure had their shots at the 49ers there. They were, how many times inside the 10-yard line? Was that 8 or 9 plays?
I think that was the 8th.
8 plays, and that is
Holding.
super
Offense,
defense.
number 82. 10-yard penalty remains first down.
Holding against the tight end, Eric Johnson.
Well, it's not very good offense. I mean, they can be thinking about that, too, that, you know, that McNabb can't have to do it every play. I mean, sometimes you have to be able, on short yardage and goal line, to take that ball and run it in there. There's that interception. That's what they write. Number 50, so they know who it is. Interception versus Philadelphia.
First and 20. Garcia to Garrison Hearst. Carlos Emmons made a stop.
Let's look at that goal line stand. That was a big one. That was a 4th one down one that had holding. Here again, that was a play that they stopped so that they made this all possible. And look at how they ganged up there in the middle. And then, of course, they made him throw, and he threw that one right to Derek Smith.
And notice that in the middle of every one of those plays was number 50.
Was Derek Smith,
yeah.
And that's what he does well. I mean, that's what 49ers got him from the Washington Redskins, and that's what he did well for the Redskins.
Garcia is going to screen it left. Does. To Hearst. He gets about 5. Corey Simon.
Garcia was really holding up better than I thought he would. When we watched him out there practice and then talked to him after, I thought there was no way that he would be able to get into the 4th quarter of this game. I thought he'd start because he was very, very determined to do that. Steve Mariucci was kind of determined that he would play, but I didn't think that he would finish.
Well, he hasn't taken any real big hits. He almost get one, but avoided that. Here comes the blitz after him again. He throws deep. Owens. Incomplete, and there's the flag. Al Harris back there with him.
That's a matchup that they were trying to get. You know, that you have to double Terrell Owens. And I know that Steve Mariucci was looking for that matchup, trying to get Terrell Owens on Al Harris. Although I think Al Harris is a good player. I mean, I don't think he's the guy you pick on.
Pass interference. Defense, number 31.
I think this
automatic.
This is a call that could have gone either way, too.
Because he is so big and strong that there's always going to be some bumping. You see, he had a couple of steps on Al Harris, then the ball was thrown short. And then Terrell Owens stopped to come back, and when he stopped to come back, because he had the step, that put him in front of Al Harris. That put Al Harris chasing, and then when Terrell Owens stopped, Al Harris ran right into him.
34-yard penalty. That's Stokes, and Harris makes the tackle. You're going to work on him with both of them.
I think Al Harris got Hollis Thomas's belt. Looking the wrong thing. Yesterday they were all wearing each other's jerseys, and I think he got someone else's belt, or he got Santa Claus's belt.
Maybe it was a present. 2nd and 4. Garcia looking to run it, and he will. And a flag on the play, and he got the first down.
Yep, he ran right
and more
right by Derek Deese, who was pass protecting for him.
There is no foul in the play as the quarterback slid at the last moment. Defenders were already committed. Therefore, the result of the play, first down.
That was the 3rd time today that we've had flags on the play, and they said it wasn't a penalty. See,
they were already committed.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, that doesn't let you slam a guy just because you're committed. I don't know. That's not bad. I guess it is okay. Maybe I'll do the same thing. Throw it and then pick it up.
Mike Caldwell, Hollis Thomas, first down, 49ers, nevertheless.
Yeah, but I mean, he was okay.
Hearst at the line. scrimmage.
Yeah, one thing, these are two teams that are going to be in the playoffs. You don't know exactly where. The Philadelphia Eagles, if they win today, then they win the Eastern Division. If they don't, then they have 2 more games to win 1 game to win the Eastern Division.
They got to get busy if they're going to win this one.
Well, I mean, they're only 3 points down. I mean, you know, if the Rams were playing in this, the offense, like the 49ers' normal offense, you'd think, heck, that's no big deal. But when the score is 6-3, you've been playing all day and you only have 9 points. Maybe being down 3 points is something.
2nd and 9, Garcia. Incomplete. Looking for Stokes.
Donovan McNabb, we saw him looking over there, and he had to be thinking that the one thing when you get down there is you have the field goal and you can't throw the interception. I mean, if you don't have a guy wide open there and you're just down by 3, just throw the ball away. And I know that's what he's telling himself right now, that I didn't have to do that. I have to know, I have to learn, I have to know that when I get down there in the goal line, I can't force things in there, especially when we're only down by 3 points.
And down in the middle of the field like that. Here's Garcia back to throw. And going deep for Owens. Touchdown.
He got Bobby Taylor on that one.
Yep.
Earlier was Al Harris. It's just a matter of time. You have Terrell Owens. You have one of the best players in all of football as a wide receiver. He's going on Bobby Taylor there. He gets Bobby Taylor turned. He gets a step or two, and Jeff Garcia throws a perfect pass.
That's that old seam pattern. And Owens is too big and too fast.
And look where Garcia put it. I mean, he put it right over where the only guy that was going to get it was Terrell Owens.
13-3. There's a flag on the play.
Bobby Taylor is a good cover man too, and Terrell Owens got him right off the bat. I mean, you know, he got that step on him, kept the step on him all the way, and then Garcia threw it right over Bobby Taylor's head.
Personal foul. A defensive player used leverage to attempt to block the kick. This penalty of 15 yards will be enforced on the kickoff.
Improper leverage. I think that, in some degree, is what Terrell Owens has, improper leverage.
Women flock to me because...
It's the 49ers by 10. Garcia to Owens, 13-3. They lead Philadelphia.
Yeah, you're going to look at this game and the stats, and Jeff Garcia is not going to have a big stat number game, but I'll tell you, for what I know he went through, this is one of Jeff Garcia's biggest days.
Cortez kicks into the end zone to Brian Mitchell. They'll bring it out to the 20. 6:44 left.
Season's greetings from the Philadelphia Eagles organization. We'd like to thank all our military troops for fighting for our freedom and our country. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Andy Reid. Thank you for all those players who took part in those good wishes to our troops and to a happy holidays. Here's McNabb. Staley to the 30.
There's Bill Walsh, the Hall of Fame coach, who's now a consultant for the San Francisco 49ers. And you know, if you look at all the offensive ideas or the ones that most people are using right now, Bill Walsh had something to do with most of it.
And many of the coaches.
Well, and both of these coaches, Steve Mariucci and Andy Reid, coached together under Mike Holmgren.
McNabb to Thrash.
with the Green Bay Packers. In fact, they were telling the story how they met. They were both hired at the same time.
Yep.
They were staying in a hotel. They had their wives with them. They were going to go in the next day, and in the middle of the night, there's a fire alarm goes off. They both go running out of their rooms in their underwear. They're standing there. Andy Reid looks at Mariucci and said, "Are you Mariucci?" He said, "Yeah, are you Andy Reid?" The first time they met.
Both in underwear. Staley has it go through his hands.
And then they shared a desk after that. And Andy Reid was saying that Steve Mariucci can do more things. He said, all I can do is one thing. I mean, I can watch film, I can write it. Steve Mariucci said could be talking to a guy, talking on the telephone, watching a film, writing something, all at the same time.
Yeah.
And he said, he said he's always that way, like hyper. He said he doesn't even drink coffee.
No, he's always like that.
And you'd always think that he dipped into the caffeinated.
Here's McNabb retreating. And now he starts to take off and dives forward. Maybe with the dive, and he did indeed get the first down.
I'll tell you can tell the determination in Donovan McNabb now. He knew that he had things going, that he had that drive going, and that he made a mistake. I mean, he did something down there that you just can't do.
That interception?
I mean, whatever it is, that interception, whether he, didn't see Derek Smith, whatever the reason is, there can be no reason. When you get that position, you have to get a score one way or another.
McNabb chased out of the pocket, gets it to Staley, who makes one man miss, fumbles, and the 49ers have it. 49ers come up with the ball. Jamie Winborn.
Winborn is the guy that Deuce Staley beat earlier. McNabb is trying to say that he was down by contact. Staley has the ball here. He was trying to say that it wasn't, that he didn't fumble. We're going to see there, he got it, and that ball was just knocked out. Watch the helmet come in. Deuce Staley again has those bad shoulders, and his knee is down now.
Yeah, it is.
And then the helmet comes in and knocks that ball. That's Engelberger that hits him. That can be challenged, I think, because his knee was down.
Philadelphia is challenging the ruling on the field that the runner was not down by contact.
I think they win this challenge.
Yeah, that's what Donovan McNabb was saying. He was saying that he was down, and you could see that was right, that Deuce Staley's knee is down before John Engelberger comes in and hits him. You see the knee is down right now, and here's Engelberger. See, after the knee is down, he comes and knocks the ball out.
His helmet hits the ball, and it went flying backwards.
Had they ruled down by contact and blown the whistle, you couldn't challenge it. But this can be challenged. The knee is down, the ball's knocked out after the knee's down. Tony Correnti, the referee.
It's amazing.
Here's Andy Reid's record for that. 1 reversal and 4 replay challenges.
Well, this one I think is going to be
upheld.
Upheld, yeah. The field, that absolutely has been amazing, because when we got up this morning and came to the ballpark, it was flooding outside.
Yeah, and it was pouring down rain, and I told you that, this field's going to be a mess today, and I really believed it would. See, here he looks right now. The knee is down right there. You see it. Here's the ball still in his hand. John Engelberger is going to knock it out, but that's after the knee is down.
And there's just no question about that.
You wonder how, I agree with you, there's no question about it, but you wonder what he can be looking at for so long if there's no question about it, because he's looking at the same pictures that we're looking at, the viewers are looking at. But they already threw 3 flags.
After reviewing the play, The runner's knee was on the ground. He was being twisted before the ball came out. Therefore, Philadelphia will retain possession of the ball at the 40.5 yard line. It'll be second down, 9.5 to go. Philadelphia will not be charged with a timeout.
And one of the things that Tony Correnti, the referee, could have been doing is also after he saw that he was going to uphold that challenge, that he wanted to get the spot of the ball.
Wanted to make sure where the ball was.
Where the ball was.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's what instant replay is all about. I mean, maybe the game takes a few minutes longer. So what? As long as you get things right. And that's what instant replay is all about, is to right a wrong. I don't know about that one that happened in Cleveland, though, last week. I think that they have to get something that if the booth calls it, that, you know, they're talking on the pregame show that maybe a light goes on someplace or something has to happen that makes it objective rather than subjective.
That one had too many wrongs in it. McNabb through the hands of Jamie Reeder.
The 49er defense has really come back. Remember earlier, I thought that the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line had kind of taken over and were controlling the line of scrimmage. And since that time, in the second half, I think that Jim Mora has gotten his defense going, and his front line, especially these two tackles here, have kind of controlled things against the running game.
Here's McNabb. Incomplete. Intended for Pinkston. Well, you think back, the last two times the 49ers played here, they were shutouts. And today, again, they haven't given up a touchdown.
Yeah, and this is a defense that's going to be together for a long time. I mean, they're a young defense, and they went through the growing pains last year. As I said earlier, that, you know, because they went through those pains, they're reaping the benefits this year.
Landetta on to punt. Sutherland signaled fair catch and got away from it. And the ball bounces into the end zone. Fox tonight, don't miss a full hour of Cops, followed by an all-new Extreme Guinness special. That's tonight at 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox.
You watch Cops?
You mean the show?
Yeah.
No. I have watched it.
Yeah.
There's one. I didn't see any cops like that on them.
San Francisco's finest.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, you know, I mean, before September 11th, I had the greatest respect for firemen and policemen, and since September 11th, if you can grow better or higher, it sure has.
Garrison Hearst tripped up.
I'll tell you, this day that Jeff Garcia has had, you know, again, as I said earlier, when you look at the stats, it's not going to be his best day. But what he's playing with here today, and what he's done here today, this is one of his best days.
That was a perfect throw to Owens.
You know, this guy, I mean, you look at him and you think he can't play. I mean, he's not big enough, he's not strong enough, he's not anything, but he's a gamer. Look at this, he's been sacked twice, hit 6 times, hurried 7 times, hasn't been intercepted. But when he gets in a game, he knows how to play the game.
And when you talk to him, he just looks frail.
He is frail.
He's tough. Garrison Hearst.
Now, I would never question about, you know, his being tough, and I think that's why he has the respect of this team, of his receivers, but maybe even more importantly, his offensive line. That, you know, he never complains. He never. I mean, he gets knocked down. He just gets up himself. No one has to help him up. You know, doctors don't come running out there and put a flashlight in his eye and do things like that. And he just kind of picks himself up, dusts himself off, and gets ready for the next play.
It's like the whole offensive line plus himself. They don't get a lot of credit, the offensive line, but they do a whale of a job. No first down. Garrison Hearst.
And the Eagles will gang up on you. Did you see who was up there again? It was Dawkins, and anytime you start to run on them or you start to do anything on them, they're going to add an extra guy. That extra guy is usually Brian Dawkins. And you're going to see, you start to run, they're going to get these guys up in there. Now watch number 20 come in there. I mean, he is going to be part of it because, like I said, he's a free safety, but if you need an extra linebacker, Brian Dawkins becomes that guy.
Tomorrow, it's another full day of NFL action, beginning with the undisputed champion of pregame shows, Fox NFL Sunday, presented by Energizer. Then the Bears battle the Redskins, or the Cowboys look to stop the Cardinals. Plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, here on Fox.
Well, this will be one of the first Sundays that we've been off where we can watch and see what goes on a normal NFL Sunday.
I think I know the answer to this, but are you going to watch football tomorrow?
Yeah, of course.
That's what I thought.
All day and all night. In fact, I may even go to the game. You know, the Raiders are playing Tennessee right across the bay.
Right.
Here tonight, or in an hour or two. I might even go to that one.
Eligible receiver, number 55.
49ers punt. Mitchell. And the coverage is excellent. Justin Swift down to make the stop. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stinner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Associate directors Mike Roig, the broadcast associates Charles McDonald and Kerry Kloster. Technical producers Bob Muller. Technical directors Joe Benda. The audio supervisor is Fred Aldis. Pre-game show is produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Senior producers Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Here's McNabb. Not much.
And the Eagles have to get in some form of hurry up right now because they have to be thinking in terms of 2 scores.
No timeout.
They don't have any timeouts left, so they have to get something.
Two-minute warning. They got something.
This Fox NFL special is brought to you by UPS, the official delivery company.
It looked like some warm garments.
Well, when you're ahead 13-3, and you're a 49er fan, and they're playing at home, and they're going to the playoffs, all those things warm you up.
Here's McNabb. People fly over his head. That was Jamie Winborn.
We talked about the Eagle defense being so good. This San Francisco defense, as we said, has been amazing. We're going to make 3 points allowed, 5.2, 3 and outs. Third down, it was 3rd and 13, 3 out of 13.
McNabb goes down. Julian Peterson comes around the corner and makes the stop.
Julian Peterson is one of those young guys. You know, a lot of times we talk about the safeties and the corners and so on, but Julian Peterson is a young linebacker that plays linebacker and then gets down as a pass rusher on pass down. And here he comes from this left end, and you see that he has the quickness, the speed, and the strength to be a pass rusher.
Here's McNabb. Struggling to get a first down. Didn't get it, I don't believe. The Eagles have no timeouts.
And this 49er defense, look at this, in the first 11 games they had 15 sacks, but in the last 3 games they've had 13 sacks. So that's part of it. And part of it is coverage, and part of it is young guys coming along. Part of it is getting Dana Stubblefield back on this team, and there's a lot of parts of it.
Part of it is the fact that they are all fast. They can all really run.
There's Andre Carter. He was their #1 draft choice and rookie out of the University of California. His dad, Reuben Carter, remember in the league? Bryant Young, one of the better defensive tackles in all of football. But this defense, this 49er team, Steve Mariucci said the other day, he said, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and he was right, and both defenses had to stand tall today.
The 2 remaining games are in Dallas and at New Orleans. So we will see the 49ers in New Orleans the last weekend of the regular season.
I bet they'll be a lot more explosive against them than they were today against the Eagles. Their remaining games are the Giants and Tampa Bay, and they have to win one more to clinch their division.
Well, they have a tough time with the Giants, and it could be if Tampa Bay survives, that'll be for the whole package for them.
Of course, there's other combinations. I mean, if the Giants lose or tie, then they could also win without themselves winning. But you want to be peaking going into the playoffs. You don't want to be going in any back doors.
Yeah, they start to shake hands. Andy Reid and Steve Mariucci, old friends, will say their goodbyes. It's 13-3. The 49ers win.
Thanks to CompUSA, I'm connected at the pool.
Yards. Big touchdown pass to Terrell Owens. UPS delivers a chance to win a trip to the Fox football pregame set by logging on to foxsports.com. This is Pat Summerall for John Madden and Ron Pitts saying so long from San Francisco, where once again the final score is the 49ers 13, the Eagles 3. Right now, let's take you to the postgame show with JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris. For more information on today's game and the latest NFL news, log on to foxsports.com, the official sports site of the Internet.
You're watching ABC. K2, the station more and more people are watching.